Thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here. And I want to acknowledge our remote audience, all the members of Chambers of Commerce around the province. I'm so glad that you had an opportunity to tune in. Thank you to the St. John's Board of Trade for the invitation to share with you the exciting story of Memorial University since 2019. You know, any teacher, and I am one, will tell you every good story has 5 main elements: characters, setting, plot, conflict, and a theme. And today I'm going to tell you a story about Memorial University and how it is rising in the East, the theme of our Memorial's 2020 President's Report to the Community. But I want to begin with a prologue about getting to this podium today. Now, how in the world did a girl from Labrador City become the president of our province's university during a pandemic? So I grew up in Labrador City. I come from a mining family. There are 6 of us kids that lived in Labrador City. You know, my mining is in my blood. My grandfathers were both miners. One of my grandfathers started mining at 12 years of age. So 40 years later, 8 provinces later, I returned to this province where I grew up to take on this exciting role at Memorial University, something I nor my family ever imagined. You know, when I came, I knew it was really important to get to know the province again and how Memorial fits into the fabric. So when it was safe, in the summer, I hit the road. My husband and I put on over 7,500 kilometers on my car. We traveled through the island and up to Labrador. And I started posting videos on social media that I called Tales from the Road Mun, just to share my experiences, including notably for me, being back in my hometown, standing in front of my childhood home as president of Memorial University. That had a lot of meaning for me, though I will say the house doesn't look like it did when I grew up. So what did I learn? I always knew Memorial must have a big impact on our province, but I didn't have any idea how much. The first thing I learned is Memorial's everywhere. As I said in so many of my videos, it's in every nook and cranny you can find Memorial connections. The second thing I learned is Memorial is there for the entire province. It has a unique mandate, supports not just students, but communities and regions. It has influence, even in places where there's no Memorial facilities. It's an economic driver, both in small communities and for the province as a whole, and I can't overstate this enough. The third thing, there's a real commitment to our university. There's incredible faith among Newfoundlanders and Labradorians on the university's importance for the whole province. This explains the setting of our story. It's set in every nook and cranny in our province. So what about the characters? Normally we have a villain and a hero, and I'm going to get to the villain later. But I want to talk about our heroes, our students, our faculty, our staff, and our alumni, our community friends and partners. And I'm thrilled to join this cast. So now we need a plot. We need to show how Memorial performed in the past year and why we picked our theme, Rising in the East. Well, to get our story started, let's check out these vital signs from 2019 to 2020.
Student enrollment at Memorial has been relatively stable in the last several years. In the 2019-20 academic year, enrollment totaled 18,558. Enrollment in graduate programs grew at a record pace, topping the 4,000 student mark in fall 2019. This represents a 5.5% increase over fall 2018. A big part of the rise in the number of graduate students is the growth in international graduate enrollment, a deliberate outcome of the university's plan to attract and retain global talent. During the report period, we welcomed 3,481 international undergraduate and graduate students who make our campuses more vibrant and our communities more diverse. This growth directly supports Newfoundland and Labrador's population growth strategy. Through a variety of university services, our students and their families are supported as they transition to the workforce and life in our province. University faculty, staff, and students undertake knowledge-building research as part of their work. Research funding income reached almost $135 million in 2019-20, funding that, for the most part, would not be a part of the Newfoundland and Labrador economy without Memorial. Memorial consistently ranks as one of the top 20 research universities in Canada. In the sphere of philanthropy, Memorial received more than $20 million in gifts and pledges in 2019-20. This generosity from a wide variety of sources supported needs throughout the university, particularly funding for students. Memorial awarded 784 entrance scholarships totaling almost $1.9 million and another $9.6 million for 1,592 graduate fellowships. Students are the heart of Memorial University. Our student body of more than 18,000 students is at the core of who we are and what we do. Memorial students have proven to be resilient in uncertain times and have demonstrated the ability to adapt, engage, and learn. The success of our students is always our top priority.
So it's true that students are and will always be our top priority. They are the true heroes of our story, the reason the story exists. The statistics from the video are from last year, as we are operating during that period, but I can't resist sharing some stats from this year. In fact, this September we had the highest enrollment ever at Memorial University. 19,500 students from 115 countries enrolled in our university the first day of classes. You know, we also have great news in research. Based on our researchers' success in earning external funding to support their work, our total research funding is the highest it's ever been. Based on that, Memorial is now leader among Atlantic universities. I bet you didn't know that. $135 million. There's plenty of good news from last year, scenes that are moving the story forward. I want to thank Dr. Gary Kauchanowski for much of this, as it happened on his watch, and I'm proud to stand on his shoulders and carry on his good work. We have to thank him for a lot of the plot development. You know, two great things are happened in Labrador, and I'm so excited about that. The Labrador Institute this year became an academic unit well on its way to becoming the 6th campus of Memorial University. This is an opportunity for people to be educated in place and access education that is reflective of their cultures, histories, and languages. We also have the Pie Farm, an 85-acre farm in Labrador. And that gives Memorial the infrastructure to continue to support northern food security and community development. Labrador is becoming a major character in our story, expanding teaching and research. And Labrador is an important factor in Memorial's rise, and so important to me as a Labradorian. Out on the island's west coast, there's Grenfell campus. The establishment of a Center for Research and Innovation, which is a collaboration between industry, post-secondary institutions, government, and community partners, is great for regional development. And it's going to support research and development, business diversification. It will build a stronger culture of innovation and entrepreneurship. And this is the latest asset in Memorial's array of initiatives that support innovation and business development. It's a topic I know that is important to our business community in this audience. Genesis, Memorial's flagship business incubator. $620 million in private capital, $220 million in annual revenue, creating more than 2,000 jobs. It was named the top challenger in North America by University Business Incubators. It received international recognition for its tremendous accomplishments. And of course, Genesis was the birthplace of Vianne, a heroic character in our story, founded by 3 Memorial graduates. And I know you've already heard this, but we love to celebrate our alumni. Their success was years in the making, and we were beside them every step of the way. Nestad acquired Vianne for $2.75 billion. This will have a transformational impact on our province and our university to come, because they've committed to grow the university scholarship program, to enhance its co-op education programs, and to fund at least 6 MyTech internships annually for graduate students. You just know someone will walk in the doors of Genesis and say, I have an idea. And a few years from now, there'll be a second Vianne. Memorial Center for Entrepreneurship, or MCE, a mentor character, helps push the hero beyond his or her or their boundaries. It's created to inspire and enable entrepreneurial-minded students and make Memorial the leading entrepreneurial university in Canada. And we're on our way, because last November, MCE was recognized as one of the top emerging entrepreneurship centers in the world. I'm going to repeat that. in the world for the second consecutive year. Another international recognition. MCE-supported startup companies have raised $13.2 million and created more than 150 jobs in our province since 2016. You know, I love figures, and I want to give you another interesting figure. International students consistently comprise an average of 65% of workshop participants at MCE. And the Genesis Incubator clients, there are 43% of them are immigrants to our province. Why so many? Well, they make up a healthy portion of our student body, 19%. They have great ideas and they're a key part of our story. Having international students makes us more vibrant and diverse, and it's very much part of Memorial's Rising in the East. It's a perfect example of how we are one of the solutions to Newfoundland and Labrador immigration challenges. We have almost 3,500 international students at Memorial, and they contribute more than just their business smarts. They inject $82 million annually into this province. You've heard over and over again that our province needs immigrants to grow our population, and Memorial is a key player in attracting and retaining them. We need to ensure the plot continues to head in the right direction. You know, the important lesson I want you to take away from this and other examples is that Memorial University is a provincial investment. It's not an expenditure. What we are given, we give back. Another example is, you know, we can hire a professor who will bring in up to $1 million in research funds. What if we hire 20 new professors? That would be a huge economic impact for our province. In fact, we engaged KPMG to conduct an economic impact study so we can truly understand the benefits our university brings to Newfoundland and Labrador, and the work is ongoing. And stay tuned, the report will be released this spring. I want to get back to the research funding I mentioned earlier, and that was mentioned in the video. We're at a record number with $135 million annually in research, that money that otherwise would not be in this province. That money is funding research in so many diverse areas throughout the province, local impact and areas with a global significance. For example, food security and agricultural research in Labrador. Grenfell campus, where environmental and agricultural research is attracting dozens of international students. I have to mention the Marine Institute, one of the most respected centers of marine learning and applied research in the world. And as a partner in the Ocean Frontier Institute and Canada's Ocean Supercluster, Memorial is a global leader in ocean-related research. Did you know that over 40% of all the research at Memorial University is ocean-related? I think that's fantastic. Another high point in the plot development. For the third time in recent years, Memorial is the only Canadian university ranked as one of the best post-secondary institutions in the world for the study of marine and ocean engineering. Have you been keeping track? That's 3 top international rankings for Memorial this year alone. One of the best marine and ocean engineering programs in the world. Genesis named as a top challenger, standing out as one of the best university-linked incubator programs globally. And the Memorial Center for Entrepreneurship, named one of the top 5 emerging university entrepreneur centers in the world. You know, of course, Memorial's core purpose is teaching. We have over 300 program options. So your doctor, your child's teacher, the social worker up the street, and likely the person who designed your street are all Memorial graduates. Most of you are probably alumni, maybe married to one, or a parent to one. So for most people in this room, this virtual room, the province's business leaders, we have all one thing in common: Memorial University. It's quite likely that no matter what your sector, you have Memorial graduates helping you succeed. And it doesn't matter where your business is. Memorial is there too. As I said, Memorial's everywhere. I don't think I am exaggerating when I say people connected to Memorial keep this province running. A good example of this is the micro-credentials offered by the Marine Institute. Typically short courses to advance a skill set. There are hundreds offered by the Marine Institute, and this winter, even during the pandemic, we had over 150 people signed up to do community-based training in 7 communities. And we plan to build this to make flexible learning part of Newfoundland and Labrador's fabric. You know, I said earlier I'd get to the villain later. Well, it's the COVID, and it brought conflict into our story. It's tough to give a presentation on the previous year and not to mention the pandemic that caused a shutdown in March. In 1 week, we turned around, we pivoted to remote teaching and learning on our campuses. Faculty and staff started working from home and kept Memorial running from basements and kitchen tables. And the most important activity was the support for students. It was hard for many. Can you imagine our incoming first-year students coming out of high school, how challenging it was not to have that wonderful university experience? So we tried our best to set up great programs. We launched the Kickstart program, a selection of courses from various disciplines designed for high school students to help them transition into remote learning. We got over 800 students enrolled, a huge success. We're going to do it every year now. We had MUN 101, an orientation and transition program to help first-year students adjust to community life and learn the ropes and become part of the community. We had MUN Up, an online information hub with resources to help students succeed. You know, I'm really proud of a new program that we launched to cover tuition and fees for Newfoundland and Labrador students who have been in foster care. And I'm personally committing to support this program. So out of adversity comes opportunity. And this is a good plot twist. The villain can't win. We raised almost $300,000 for Student Emergency Fund. We did a Christmas charity drive this year that raised thousands of dollars and thousands of pounds of food and toys for children in need. Again, now going to be an annual event. So a good story needs a resolution, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Can't be the end to our story because we're rising and we'll continue to climb. So I need you to stay tuned for a sequel. There's always something unexpected in a sequel. Did any of you think that Han Solo would be frozen? Our foundation is strong, and it's time to look to the future with excitement and goals in mind. We continue to develop our university to make it the best it can be. We're developing a strategic plan to identify priorities and goals for the next 3 to 5 years. And this plan will inspire us for the future. It's been a consultative process with over 1,000 people contributing. And we plan to have the draft of the plan ready this spring. You know, you've heard talk about a potential law school, and we are looking at that. The Law Society of Newfoundland and Labrador is supportive, and it's good for public policy reform. If we bring that into the province, it will have a significant economic impact. Stay tuned for that. We're hoping to look and update you more on that as we go forward. It has long-term benefit for Memorial and the province. Campus beautification. We started that this summer, and we're going to continue to do it. We want our campuses to be accessible, safe, and welcoming, and we want people to feel pride in their place. We want to create spaces that inspire and delight. We're also starting to plan for 2025, the 100th year anniversary of our university. Boy, we want to have a party and have a lot of fun from that. Do you know, when we talked about campus beautification, we got ideas from our community to build momentum that will lead us into 2025. So I want you to stay tuned for more information. You won't want to miss the celebration of the beginning of our university story. So now we come to the end of my story today. But in many ways, it feels like a beginning, especially for me. I hope that you got a sense of how Memorial is rising in the East, getting stronger, shining brighter. This is our university. We are part of the economic, social, and cultural fiber of this province. And I'm thrilled to be part of it. You know, we began this story talking about a little girl who grew up in Labrador, who became the university president of Memorial. You know, I never imagined this would be my story. But we need to dare to dream big. I can't wait to see what happens in the next chapter. And at Memorial, we dare to dream big. We hope you will share that dream with us and continue to partner with us as we rise to meet the needs of this province. You know, as I stand here and think about being here, I can't help but think about that next person, that little girl from Labrador, who maybe never thought she would ever go to university, but who did go, who comes to Memorial and gets a great education, and maybe becomes the Prime Minister of Canada. We need to dream big. That's what our story is all about. Thank you, everyone.